Hello everyone and welcome back to Sketching with Shaw. Today we're going to be learning how to use the grid method. Let's get into it. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to head over to the App Store of whatever device you're on. For me it's the Google Play Store, and you just want to type search, and you're going to want to download yourself a drawing grid app. And the one I'm going to be using in today's video, just going to scroll down till I find it. Going to be using this one right here, Drawing Grid for the Artist. And then just install that. And once it's installed, all you got to do is open the app. And then once the app is open, it's going to ask you to import your photo. Click that. Then you can do the orientation and the paper size. And then just click open. Then from here, it's going to ask you if you want to take a picture from your camera or your gallery, media picker, or your files. I'm just going to click gallery, and then I'm just going to use this picture right here. And it's going to ask you to crop out your photo to where you want it to be. Right there is about good for me, so I'm just going to hit crop at the top. Alright, and once you pick your image and load it in, it might look something like this. Now to change this, I don't use the radial grid, so I'm going to turn that off. And then I don't use diagonals either, but I do leave the line and the labels turned on. Now you can click these three little lines off to your top left, and this right here will change the size of the cells. So if you want to change that, you can. I always keep mine at 30 because it gives it a nice 7 by 10. You can also click effects. So if you want to make your photo black and white, I do this to make it easier to see all the lines in my drawing. So I'm actually going to turn that on right there. And then I don't like the green lines. I usually make mine a gray mid-tone, which we can do that by once again hitting these three little lines right here and just clicking grid color. Then you can just change it to whatever color you prefer. So once you do all that, you're ready to go. You got your top labels 1 through 7, and then you got your side labels 1 through 10. Now I usually make my squares 1 inch. That just makes it easier for when you transition it over to paper from your phone. But if you do full inches, then I just know my tops are going to be 7 inches and my sides are going to be 10 inches. And now that we have all this done on the phone, now we can get out the paper and draw our grid. Alright, and with all those steps on the phone done, now we're going to want to get our drawing pad out and just transfer that grid over to paper. And the first thing I like to do when I do that is I like to mark the center of my paper. So the top of the center and then the side center as well. And this paper is 9 by 12. So the center of my bottom and top is going to be 4.5. Mark that with a little dot. And then the center of my side is going to be 6. And since we know that our grid is going to be 7 long and 10 tall, then we just take the middle of 7, which is 3.5. So put 3.5 right on our dot. Then just put a line from 0 all the way to 7. And then every 1 inch, you can just put a line to divide up your squares. Now we know we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 columns. And then the same with the side. Since we know it's 10 long, I'm going to start our 10 down here at the bottom. Then just mark all the way from 10 all the way up to 0. And just like we did with the bottom, every 1 inch we're going to make a line. So now we have our 10 rows. So we got our 7 column, 10 rows. Now it's time to connect all the grid up together. So we go to this side, same thing, line it up with our 10 at the bottom here. Then from 10 all the way up to 0. And then our 1 inch marks. And I only label one side of my drawings. So I usually do the top and the side, but this time I'm doing the bottom and the side. Because if you label all 4 sides, it just kind of gets confusing. So I just do the bottom and left, or the top and left. And then for our last one, our top, it should be 7 long. And if the sides are a little bit wobbly, it might just be a little bit off. You can see up here, it's a little bit off. So I'm just gonna fix that real quick. Go from 0 to 7. Then we can just fix this line over here, take it from 0 all the way down here to the 10. Alright, now after fixing that line, we're going to fix our 1-inch marks. Then put our 1-inch marks at the top here. And now all we got to do is connect all these lines together. And you want to make sure you're connecting the correct ones to the correct one. So you want to connect 1 to 1. You don't want to connect 1 to 2, because then your lines are going to be not parallel. So once you make sure you're lined up, then you start putting them in lightly. You don't want to push down too hard, because you're going to want to erase your grid later. Because if you make your lines too dark, well then your grid lines are going to show through your art and it's just not going to look great. So with as much light pressure as you can, just lay all your lines down. And then the same for our lines going left to right. Remembering to do them lightly as possible to not make dark marks. That's why I like this ruler. It's got this nice little groove in it, that way you can hold it down with your fingers while you're drawing. Doesn't want to wiggle away from you as much. Alright, now we have our whole grid. And now that you have your grid, you just want to go in slowly but surely, filling in each little square until you have all of your squares filled in with your desired drawing, like so. Now that you got your whole grid filled in with your drawing, this is the point where I'd like to go back through and erase all of my extra lines that I don't need. So all the grid lines, I'm going to try to get rid of all of that and just leave my drawing. And then once all your grid lines are gone and you just have your drawing, now all you got to do is copy your reference and then just color it, and you'll have a finished drawing. Well, that pretty much sums it up for today's video. Y'all already know the gist. If y'all used or learned anything from today's video, tell me about it in the comments below. Or better yet, follow me on Instagram and send me a picture over there. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share with a friend. And until next time, peace.